Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Module 2 of Development Economics and Public Policy Analysis. In today's lecture, we will discuss two of the most important challenges facing developing countries: poverty and inequality. We will examine what poverty means, how it differs from inequality, why people remain poor, and what governments can do to reduce poverty and promote a more equitable society. So, let us begin. Introduction. Before studying development, we must understand poverty and inequality because they directly affect people's quality of life. Some important questions arise: what is poverty? What is inequality? Why do some people remain poor generation after generation? And how can governments help improve their living conditions? The objective of this lecture is to understand the causes, consequences, and policy responses related to poverty and inequality. What is poverty? Poverty refers to inability of individuals or households to meet their basic needs. These needs include adequate food, shelter, healthcare, and education. Economists generally classify poverty into two major types. The first is absolute poverty. Absolute poverty exists when people lack the minimum resources necessary for survival. The second is relative poverty. Relative poverty exists when people have living standards significantly below the average standard of society in which they live. For example, a family may not be starving, but if its income is far below the average income of society, it may still be considered relatively poor. What is inequality? Poverty and inequality are related but different concepts. Poverty focuses on deprivation. Inequality focuses on differences among people. Inequality refers to unequal distribution of income, wealth, opportunities, and resources within a society. Several forms of inequality exist. Income inequality occurs when earnings are distributed unevenly. Educational inequality arises when access to quality education differs. Gender inequality affects opportunities available to men and women. Regional inequality occurs when some areas develop faster than others. High level of inequality can reduce social cohesion, create tensions, and even slow economic growth. Causes of poverty. Poverty has many causes and they often interact with each other. Economic causes include unemployment, low wages, and inflation. When people cannot find jobs or when prices rise faster than incomes, poverty increases. Social causes include poor education and inadequate healthcare. Without education and health, people struggle to improve their productivity and earnings. Institutional causes include corruption and weak governance. When public resources are mismanaged, development efforts become less effective. Structural causes include discrimination and unequal opportunities. These barriers prevent many individuals from fully participating in economic life. Understanding these causes is essential for designing effective poverty reduction policies. Poverty trap. One of the most difficult challenges in development economics is the poverty trap. A poverty trap occurs when poverty perpetuates itself across generations. Poor families often cannot afford quality education. As a result, children acquire fewer skills. Poor healthcare further reduces productivity. Consequently, these individuals often obtain low paying jobs. Because incomes remain low, the next generation faces similar disadvantages. This cycle continues, making it difficult to escape poverty. Breaking the poverty trap requires targeted investments in education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. Measuring inequality. To understand inequality, economists use several indicators. One of the most common measure is Gini coefficient. The Gini coefficient ranges from 0 to 1. A value of 0 represents perfect equality, where everyone receives exactly the same income. A value of 1 represents perfect inequality, where all incomes belong to a single individual. Lower Gini value indicates a more equal society. Higher Gini value indicates greater inequality. Many developing countries experience relatively high level of inequality which can hinder inclusive development. Real world example. Let us compare poverty conditions in rural and urban areas. In many rural regions, educational facilities are limited. Healthcare services may be inadequate. Employment opportunities are fewer. Infrastructure such as roads, electricity, and communication networks may also be weak. Urban areas generally offer better schools, hospitals, transportation systems, and employment opportunities. This comparison highlights an important lesson. Poverty is often closely linked to access to opportunities and public services. When opportunities are limited, poverty tends to persist. Government policies to reduce poverty. Governments play a crucial role in reducing poverty. Several policy measures can be effective. Improving education helps people acquire skills and secure better employment. Expanding healthcare improves productivity and quality of life. Creating employment opportunities increases household incomes. Social safety programs protect vulnerable groups from extreme hardship. Reducing corruption ensures that public resources reach intended beneficiaries. Examples include cash transfer programs, food support schemes, and rural development initiatives. Effective public policy can significantly improve living standards and reduce poverty. Global perspective. Poverty is not only a national issue, it is a global challenge. Several international organizations work to reduce poverty worldwide. These include the World Bank and United Nations. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals include SDG 1, which is titled No Poverty. The goal is to eliminate extreme poverty and improve living standards for all people. Achieving this objective requires cooperation among governments, international organizations, civil society, and the private sector. Key takeaways. Let us summarize the main points of today's lecture. Poverty and inequality are different but related concepts. Poverty limits human capabilities and opportunities. Inequality affects fairness, social justice, and social stability. Good governance plays a vital role in poverty reduction. Finally, sustainable development requires equal opportunities and inclusive growth. Policy insight and conclusion. Let me conclude with an important policy insight. Economic growth alone cannot eliminate poverty unless the benefits of growth are shared broadly across society. True development requires inclusive growth, equal opportunities, human dignity, and social justice. Reducing poverty is not merely an economic objective. It is a moral and social responsibility. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to support the AMZ Policy and Development Institute. I look forward to meeting you in the next lecture.